Hi, Lee Phillips here. I'm an attorney. I've done wills and trusts and that sort of stuff for a few years, like 40. And I get the question, if I move out of state, do I need to redo my will and my trust? And the answer is no. You're going to redo your will and your trust and your estate planning documents when you change your mind. The fact that you move out of state and that your will and trust says that this will be governed under the laws of Ohio and you move to Indiana, your will and your trust are still valid. If there's a lawsuit or a problem in Indiana, the court is supposed to apply the Ohio laws. In reality, the courts are going to apply the Indiana laws because that's what the courts in that state understand. And they're quite similar anyway. And if you really got into a spat, then we could force the court to apply the Ohio laws. It makes it more complicated for a court. Most of these are never going to go to court. Most of them are never going to have a problem. That's the whole reason you do a trust, a living revocable trust, is to avoid the probate and that sort of thing. And the probate avoidance is the same concept in each state. So I wouldn't sweat it. I move from Ohio to Indiana, fine. Live there for 5 years. Don't sweat doing your trust over again. But next time you redo your trust because you change your mind and you want to change how the kids get the property and all of that sort of stuff, then have the trust updated to reflect Indiana laws, not Ohio laws. But this isn't something that you're going to slice your wrists over and fret about when you move out of state. So do you really need to change your wills and your trust when you move out of state? My opinion is no. Get my course on how to use a trust. We go through stuff like this. It's free. You can just click below and pick that one up. Like I say, I've had COVID. You'll know when I tape this one. And it's, I think, long-term COVID. My son is science medical director at the Department of Defense, and he says our whole country, a third of us have long COVID, and it makes us tired, and we don't do what we're supposed to do as much as we're supposed to do. It hurts productivity, and he says it's actually an excuse. You can't do what you used to do. So if you've had COVID, we're doing this in 2022. It goes away ultimately for most people, but it takes a long, long time. That's why they call it long COVID. And boy, did I get off topic of do I need to change my will and my trust when I move out of state. Don't move out of state because you got COVID. But no, don't slice your wrists over moving either and changing your will and trust. Lee Phillips giving you an update. Subscribe because we're going to do a fair amount more on trusts and estates and things. I've had more requests for that. So stay tuned.